Obviously, welcome into the UMAC. That is the Union Multipurpose Activity Center here tonight on the campus of Union High School for Union High School basketball. I'm Rick Corey. I'll be joined by Coach Joe Redmond in just a few minutes as Union tonight, coming off a couple of nice wins in the last couple of weeks, will be taking on Ponca City. This girls team, the Union team, 15-4, 8-1 overall, leading their district. 100 district points with Owasso second at 82 district points. On the other side, the Ponca City Lady Wildcats bring 11 players, which is more than we've seen from some of the visiting teams lately, and bring in an overall record of 5-12, 2-6 in district play. They have won 2 of their last 3, though, and do look a little bit more organized and athletic if you watch warm-ups. Now, as you look at this Union girls team, if there's been a surprise, I think that surprise would be Demoya Gator, number 0, pardon me. She is a starter for this Union team, and she has brought something a little bit different and something just a little bit better to the program. Let's ask the man who knows way more than I do, and that is Coach Joe Redmond, former head coach of the girls team, and he's now trying to balance being an administrator, a guy who sits in on the radio and YouTube, and eat his lunch.
That's right.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Rick. How are you doing tonight?
Not bad. He got himself a nice sandwich put over there. You know, you've seen this team a lot. You've seen a lot of girls basketball. To me, Demoya Gator is making a real difference. What is she doing to add?
Well, first and foremost, just her energy and presence, and the average fan that only gets to see the basketball games, that'll definitely jump off the page. But if you show up to practices, you'll see it there too. The weight room, just, when they're just in here doing shooting drills before or after practice, that kind of thing. She just has a different bounce to her, her energy level and that kind of thing. It just lends to, a business-like atmosphere, attitude kind of thing, and you can see it on the floor. She's a lot of the personal habits that she has just translates into good basketball.
One of the things that she has done to me is she is so basically sound.
Yes.
She does not miss bunnies. She does not miss passes. She very seldom has something tipped or intercepted. She doesn't play wild basketball at all, and that really brings a kind of a solidity to a team, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and and all those things that you mentioned are just very subtle things. She doesn't make a flashy play. She doesn't shoot a lot of threes and all of those things that you see as highlights on SportsCenter these days. She gets a lot of 50-50 balls. She plays unbelievable defense. She makes the extra pass to find a teammate, and she may have a good shot, and she'll make an extra pass to get somebody a great shot. And, it's just kind of a Swiss Army knife type of player for Coach Barry, and I think that. One of those pleasant surprises that when you start off the year and you think, man, we have, a few girls that we know what they bring to the table. It'd be nice if somebody that we don't know about would step up, and that's been Demoya Gator so far this year. She was kind of a wild card, didn't really know what we were getting, and to this point in the season, she's been an ace in the hole.
The other thing that jumps out at me is Jasmine Herron at the point in place of Isabella McSwain. McSwain was a person who caused a lot of trouble for most teams last year. Mm-hmm. She can play a little fast sometimes, and I feel that Jasmine Herron may be a little bit more under control. Is that why you think that change was made?
Yeah, I think it was kind of one of those deals that, excuse me, thank you, professionals helping out the rookie here. From a coaching standpoint, and I have not had this conversation with Coach Barry, but, I think that for whatever reason, that there was a change in the starting lineup for one game, and I think it was probably just going to be a short-term deal, and I think they both performed really well in those roles, and I think the maturity of this team and the maturity of Bella McSwain just really lent to her being able to play the role that she wanted to play, which is, being more of a scorer and that kind of thing. And so I think that once Jasmine kind of settled things down from the point guard spot and Bella can come in and maybe look to score a little bit more and that kind of thing, it really played into both players' hands a little bit better, and so it just worked out. It's unfortunate that Bella broke her hand a game or two ago, but the bench is deep, and I think we still plan to have a great year.
Yeah, when Bella came in, she brought a lot of offense immediately. We're going to have our starting lineups in a moment, but just give me about 30 seconds on Kari Lomack, because to me she's been Demoya Gator just maybe minus a little bit, but she brings some of the same stuff.
Yeah, I think that, Kamari is just such a bundle of energy, and, just exciting things happen when she's around the ball. And I think that, it's probably been the other way with her. It's kind of trying to pull the reins back just an inch to get her to slow down and play a little bit more under control. But that energy level is great, and I think with Bella being out, it's going to be important going down the stretch.
All right, so we're going to go down to our public address announcer now as we get the team announcements and the national anthem.
Were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
First, let's meet the visitors, the Ponca City Lady Wildcats. At 6 foot, a senior, number 2, Allison Duncan. At 5'8", a senior, number 3, Nevaeh Carlisle. At 5'8", a senior, number 4, Alexa Avia. At 5'10", a junior, number 13, Natalia Good. And at 5'8", a senior, number 25, Jenna Northcutt. Head coach for the Lady Wildcats is Micah Estrada, assisted by Alan Monks, Brad Parent, and Caden Mercer. And now, Union fans, please direct your attention to the video board. And now for the starting lineup for your Union Redhawks. First, our ball girls tonight from Cedar Ridge Elementary, Sutton Barkley, Brexley Durdell, and Cheryl Westfall. Starting at 5'9", a junior, number 0, Demoya Gator. At 5'3", a junior, number 3, Jasmine Heron. At 6'2", a sophomore, number 5, Micah Davis. At 5'8", a senior, number 10, Whitney Smith. And at 6'2", a sophomore, number 12, Jada Davis. Head coach of the Red Hawks is Josh Berry, assisted by Joe Davis, Amani Davis, Trey Osborne, and Jada Ford.
So there are your starting lineups for tonight's basketball game. The Union Lady Redhawks taking on the Ponca City Lady Wildcats. I'm Rick Corey along with Coach Joe Redmond, and I think we both made that drive to Ponca City a time or two. And unless you can stop at the airport and eat at the Mexican restaurant, whose name I can never remember, there's not a lot of other things about that drive I like an awful lot. But it is nice to play one at home here tonight. And what does this basketball team have to do to stay hot, Joe?
Yeah, I just think they just have to continue to work towards their goals and, just playing team basketball on both ends of the floor, with the benefit of walking through practice every now and again and being able to, hear the coaches speak and what their goals are, just short-term and long-term. I think that nights like tonight, you can work on a handful of things that build towards the long-term goal.
Micah Davis will jump at center for Union. And that will go to the Union Redhawks down court. Whitney Smith down underneath the Gator. And the young lady we talked about knocks in the first two. It's 2-0 Union. And there's exactly what you talked about. She takes advantage.
Yeah, and that's just, it's interesting. That's something that play is something they do just about every game to start the game. And it's unbelievable how often it works. And Des Moines Gator was just the recipient of the layup tonight.
And she just knocked that ball out of bounds. So Ponca City will take it there. That is Duncan taking it out of bounds. Has it inbounds to Carlisle, and here they come. Natalie Good out front. Union in their typical man-to-man. Playing very tight. Nice little knockaway right there, almost by Jada Davis, and it's going to create a jump ball. That will be possession to Ponca City, but that is a half possession toward Union, so again, good hands. This team's been really good at that too, Joe. They get their hands in the passing lanes a lot.
Yeah, and one of the things that they're able to do, and going back to Des Moines Gator, just being able to guard multiple positions, they can switch a lot of screens, and so when teams set screens to get players open, we're able to just switch them because we don't care what position you are, and that makes it even tougher for them to enter the ball, and so that was one of the reasons we got that tip there.
Down inside for Ponca City, nice little assist in there, but it does not go. Rebound comes out of there to Jada Davis, and here come the Lady Redhawks. Whitney Smith will pass that off. Jada won't take that shot, but Gator might from there. Nope, she will not. Back to the middle, great pass to the inside, and Micah Davis from her sister Jada, and it's 4-0.
And it's great ball movement there, and the high-low option there is just, it's really tough to guard when you got 2'6" girls out there.
And they look an awful lot alike, too.
Yeah.
Pretty good reason for that. Drive on the inside, and it does lead to a foul. We talk about the Davis twins, but we're talking about just such a solid amount of play from those two. They are a lot alike, obviously. They have some different skill sets, but they and Whitney, to me, bring the base, the cement of this team.
Yeah, it just speaks volumes when you know what you're going to get from certain players night in and night out, and just the consistency of those girls you mentioned, the twins, and Whitney Smith. Bella was one of those girls as well, and now you see Jazz starting to be able to contribute in a more consistent way. It just makes for a really balanced team.
Lady Wildcats missed both ends of the free throws, so it remains 4-0 right now Union as they will take the basketball out. Jasmine Heron looking inside, nothing there. Davis twins will play a little catch, back to Jasmine. We'll reset this thing, no hurry. Union does not need to rush. Trying to get those double posts down low, and you can see there's right now, unfortunately, Joe, not a ton of movement down low.
Yeah, Ponca City is having their zone packed really tight. They're trying to guard the ball to take away the three, but don't want the ball to go inside. And so we're just being patient and working the ball around to find the right hole.
That three was taken by Whitney Smith, and she'll knock that down most of the time. They did catch a foul right there, and that's going to be over the back for Union, and I believe that one is going to go. I think that one's going to go. Yeah, it is. That's going to go in Whitney. So here comes Ponca City. Good down court quickly, but the ball stolen away by Whitney. Union's got numbers. Smith passes off. That three attempt no good by Gator, and that's a good block out by Ponca City. You saw Micah working really hard to get position, but an excellent job by Natalia Good to block her out of there. Now it will go to Union underneath, but that's great defense, Coach.
Yeah, it was, and it was a really good box out. She didn't need to hook Micah to keep her off the glass, but just felt compelled to, and ended up picking up the foul.
Davis misses the free throw, and here comes Ponca City again, trailing 4-0. Early on in this game, 5:35 to go, first period. Little give and go, didn't go far. And the long cross-court pass, dangerous, but gets there. Now they'll go to the middle. Bit of an opportunity, but that's not a great matchup for Ponca City inside with Avia.
When the Twins stay long and vertical inside, the kids will face up and realize how long they are. It's tough to score over them.
Good back out front, trying to find a little bit of room. Nice little pass down inside. They pass it off yet again, and the 3 attempts coming, and that one looked good but did not get there. Rebound comes out of there to Micah Davis. Best offensive series right there for Ponca City. Now right back down for Union. Heron drives, goes right to the hole. Jasmine Heron missed it, got the rebound after it got knocked around, and it's missed again. Duncan with the rebound. 2 good opportunities, Joe.
Yeah, it should have used the backboard on that second attempt. Just old school basketball. You get that close, you got the angle, put it off the glass.
Good, actually did a nice little push-off right there and got away with it. Ball goes tipped out of bounds, and it will remain with Ponca City. Substitution is Ponca City will bring in Samara McCain, and they will bring out Avia. 4-0 Redhawks. Nice inbounds, but it goes a little bit awry. Carlisle was able to gather it in, though. And the player who just entered, McClain way out front. Now she'll go back to good, and they'll reset again. Drive went nowhere. Here comes an inside shot, and that one's going to go over and around. Duncan missed that one and missed everything. Redhawks on the run. Micah Davis down low, did not get it, but she got the foul. Good job of running the court, and that's the other thing for somebody as big as they are. The Davis twins can run the court, and they will.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage also when you have those girls that size that can grab the rebound and push it, those 2 dribbles and then advance it up the floor. Just, you had the ball underneath the basket a lot quicker than most teams expect.
Not a problem for Micah Davis. Sweet free throw shot. A couple of substitutions for Union. Kamari Lomack will come in for Jasmine Heron, and we will see also Demoya Gator take a seat for Yane Edwards, who I just love her underneath, Coach. She knows how to use what she's got. She will create space.
There are certain instances where what Yane brings to the table is exactly what we need on the floor, and just her ability to control the paint on both ends, just with her aggressiveness and knowing how to use her body, like you said, and she uses it well offensively and defensively. And a lot of times you think, man, how is she going to finish that basket? And she gets it up and it goes in for her, and it's just always a good spark when she comes into the game.
She does such a great job, I think. She's spatially aware.
Absolutely.
I mean, very spatially aware.
That is a great way to phrase it.
Redhawks once again with the basketball after the turnover. Nice job to the inside. Jada passes it off to Micah, got it up and got it down, and probably got fouled but didn't get the call. Yeah, that is 6 early points for Micah Davis. Redhawks lead 8-0.
Yeah, that's a good ball movement. And, if you can move the ball, 3-4 passes like that against the zone without dribbling it, it's really hard for the zone to adjust. And then, when you have a girl that'll finish it on the end of it, it really looks like good basketball.
Northcutt way out front, tries to go back inside again. Duncan got kind of bumped right there. I thought they might call something. They didn't until then, and they called traveling. So we'll go over to the Redhawks. You mentioned something earlier that I don't think enough people understand. You talked about switching screens or running through screens. Now, I've been around a lot of college basketball. Most of the coaches I were around were defensive guys, and they demanded you run through screens.
Absolutely.
Explain the difference and what you mean.
Well, and I coach that way a lot too. I didn't like to switch things because now you're forcing more communication and that kind of thing. But, when the teams I had that were able to do it, and what I mean by able, that means you have big people that can switch out and guard guards, and then you have guards that aren't afraid to switch out and guard bigger people inside. And so when you can do that flawlessly, it really disrupts an offense because most offenses rely on nice defense and transition layup by Demaria, but it just allows your defense an opportunity to force an offense further out away from the basket, and you don't have to fight through screens that teams use to get open shots or get advantages. And it's most teams fight through screens. And so when you have one that switches everything, it can really confuse an offense that isn't used to it.
And as you mentioned, a lot of times the bigger deals, the matchups it can create. Nobody wants to switch a screen with a guard on a Davis twin.
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't happen very often. We just don't see a lot in college basketball either. But when you can, yes, it is a huge advantage. Now, you saw what happened there, and Union was able to get a wonderful little inside move and got now a 10-0 lead as Ponca City calls a timeout with 2:52 to go in this first period. This team, you're playing against a team that you know you're better than on paper. Now, let's be real honest about that.
Sure.
You play them on a court for a reason, but they know on paper you're better. You have a Tuesday night. You know, you've had a couple of days off school a couple of weeks ago because of, last week because of, weather and that kind of thing. Bringing your own energy is really important in a situation like this. The other people in the building and the music's playing. But to me, starting off at 10-0 against a team that you know you're better than, I think that's a good start.
Well, and I think that you look at how we got to 10-0. I mean, there were a couple of transition baskets off of good defense, and then we also had some great possessions. It's backcourt.
Great job by Jada Davis right there, and that ball bounces to Micah, but they're going to call the foul.
Yeah, well, it was the backcourt. It was just an awkward position. She was barely across half court when she stole the ball, and she threw it backwards to her sister, back across half court, and I kind of felt that coming. But back to your original point, just to be up 10-0 and have 2 or 3 really good offensive possessions and then a couple of baskets that were created on your good defense, that's just a good sign for a game like this when you're coaching and you just feel like that, you're playing the right way, not playing sloppy because you know you're probably going to win the game.
Northcutt brings the ball across, so Ponca City still scoreless here in this first period. She is a long way from the basket as she tries to make some kind of move, pick the dribble up, and got herself trapped out there. Now Avia in the same spot, but she'll pass off. As Ponca looks like they want to maybe try the middle, but Duncan thought better of it. Here comes Northcutt. She's just going to toss one up, kind of a prayer, but she did draw the foul. You could kind of see, Coach, all the way from up here, that eventually a player, and especially if you're used to any kind of success, when things aren't going well offensively, eventually you just take it in your own hands and go.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of that, and I think that Yane got a little thrown off by the fact that, she was barely across the three-point line and picked it up to make a play like she was shooting a point-blank layup, and so you're usually expecting another dribble move at that point, not a pick it up, gather, and shoot a 15-foot layup, and I think that was the reason she ended up reaching in and fouling right there.
Yeah, the first shot goes down for Northcutt, first point of the night for Ponca City. More substitutions here for Union. The Davis twins will have a seat. Lomack is in there. Gator is in there. She came back. Once again, you still have Yane out there. Daniels is out there. And, to me, a lot of times Demaria and Jasmine play a lot alike. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes they'll wear their hair the same.
Yeah.
And if I don't see the front of the jersey, sometimes I don't know who I'm looking at, Coach.
Well, they're both smaller girls that really get after the ball and rely on their quickness out there. And so, as far as we are away from the court and you have eyes like mine, it really helps for me to know those girls for the last 5 or 6 years to be able to tell them apart. So I understand exactly what you mean.
It's the shoes for me.
Yeah.
I always check shoes before the game begins, and then I'll actually get really hosed if they change at halftime, which happens.
Yeah, it does
Whitney
happen.
Smith from 3, and that one won't go. But Union will gather that rebound. Excellent job on the inside with the pass. Kamari Lomack down low, and the Red Hawks have another 12-2, and that's a good look.
That is, and just fighting for that 50-50 ball off the rim and then being able to share it with a teammate for a basket. It's just good basketball.
Daniels with 4 now as Ponca City trailing 12-2. The minute 13 go first period. Drive inside, kind of a wild shot. Whitney Smith with the rebound, but she's fouled. Whitney was going to get that out of there. She had Lomack heading down court, and it looked like she was going to fire one down that way. Instead, she's fouled, and the Red Hawks will start again.
Yeah, Whitney's done a much better job this year, senior year, of handling the basketball. When she got here a couple of years ago, she was just more of a shooter and a scorer, but she has really, really added to her game on the defensive end and then just being able to handle the ball. She's playing the point guard right now for us, which will be big for us with Bella being out and added another girl willing to handle the ball.
Back to the inside once again, and Whitney has an opportunity, but there's a whistle ahead of that. There's going to be a kind of a hook and a hold on the inside on Ponca City, so the Red Hawks will take it out of bounds with 52 seconds to go in this first period, leading 12-2. That's the 4th foul on Ponca, by the way. Inbounds way out front. Red Hawks will get it to Edwards and start over, and another whistle, and that's going to be a travel. You're watching some of the boys team from Ponca and from Union are sitting on the end zones or down in the end areas and watching. I find watching them sometimes as fun as watching the game, Coach.
Yeah, it's always interesting to watch how involved in the game that they can get in those situations, and I'm sure that they're cheering on our girls and enticing them to maybe do some things that their coaches probably aren't interested in them doing. But nonetheless, it's good that they're out here cheering.
It is. Carlisle dribbles it out of bounds. She was being harassed by Lomack, and they will inbounds with Ponca City. Whitney Smith almost had that. Instead, it's Northcutt way out front. Northcutt trying to get something done. They switched that screen. Northcutt is going to throw it away, though. She thought she was going to get a breaker to the inside. That breaker stopped, and they just threw it away. And so Union will have another shot with 30 seconds to go in this first period.
And good ball pressure right there helped force that turnover, too. Just kind of
with a couple of nice little dribbles. Now to the corner. Whitney Smith got the three. Cannot get it to go. Rebound to Ponca. Coming out of there is Carlisle, and here comes Ponca City. Long pass down court is really kind of fumbled. Now it's knocked away at the end by Union. Got a breaker. Here we go. Down court. That is Whitney. She's got it. That's two. Wonderful feed by Kamari Lomack, who put it to her quickly, and it's 14-2. That'll do it for the first period. 14-2 Redhawks, and a terrific break, Coach.
Yeah, that, again, just being aggressive defensively and then being willing to share the basketball right there. Just it's good to see. These girls are just such a good, cohesive unit and play well together. It's good to see them share the ball like that.
So 14-2, end of period one. If you were down there and you were in Josh Berry's shoes, which you have been before, what would your message be right about now?
Just stay the course. I happened to caught a little bit of practice on Sunday, and there was an opportunity there to that they were working on a few things as far as you have to excuse me, I'm being schooled here by some professionals on how to speak into the microphone and be a little louder, I think.
There you go.
But just continue to reiterate the things that you talked about and stressed through practice the last couple of days, sharing the basketball, being where you're supposed to be defensively, and communication is always a huge part of it with Coach Berry, and finishing plays, on both ends of the floor. You have an opportunity to finish a good defensive stop with a strong rebound, get the rebound. You have you run a great play and get the ball point blank where it's supposed to be, finish the play with a basket. You get fouled, make the free throws, that kind of thing. And so those are the things that you can continue to talk about that you can work on regardless of what the score is.
Second period begins at a 14-2 Union. They'll get the ball inside. Davis got to pass it off. That's going to go off to Whitney Smith. And again, Whitney Smith gets two, but you got to give a lot of credit there to Micah Davis as she passed that thing inside at 16-2.
Yeah, again, just, 3 or 4 really quick passes that just make it hard for the zone to rotate and defend.
Ponca trying once again to get it inside. Nice little feed to the inside. That's going to go up and down, and it's going to be an and one. Thought there might be a travel there. There was not. But that was a pretty little pass to the inside, and it's Duncan who ends up at the line with a one opportunity.
Yeah, I think we talked a lot about switching and that kind of thing with them up there, and I think there may have been some confusion about whether or not we were going to switch that one up top, and so that led to either Micah or Jade, I can't remember which one it was, being late on that roll girl and gave her the opportunity, and she capitalized on it.
Heron goes quickly out front. Union will rotate it back around, and Jasmine once again out front with those bright orange shoes. Whitney Smith one dribble, and then she's going to pick that up. Down inside, that's a beautiful feed, and Jada Davis over the top, an 18-4 lead now.
Both those girls, Micah and Jade, have worked real hard on being able to hold off that defender to get that lob over the top by using their length, and it's starting to work out for them. They've been able to do that the last few games, or at least gotten better at it the last few games. It's good to see.
When you talk about somebody being 6'2", you think that's automatically easy, but it's not because they don't have a lot of weight that they do that.
Right.
So how do you teach someone who is thinner like that, Joe, to hold that person off, especially if they've got more bulk than you do?
Well, it's a timing thing. You don't want to try to have to hold them off for 3 or 4 seconds. You know where that ball's going to be and the timing of it. So, you get your body in there at just the right time. You hold them off for a count and a half instead of 3 counts, and then it's a little bit easier for you. So instead of, getting stronger in a week, you just get smarter.
Whitney Smith almost with the opportunity there, but that pass a little far. Whitney did a good job of corralling it and then staying in bounds. Dribbles inside. It's knocked away by Ponca, so the Redhawks will take it out of bounds. 6:41 to go in this first half. 18-4 Union leads. Way out front to Micah Davis. She'll go back inside to Jada. She's kind of trapped in there. Back to Micah. And Union will reset everything, and there's her whistle inside. They
3
called
seconds
3
on
seconds. I
Jada.
believe
Yeah.
that's what they were. Yeah, they took the look
Yeah.
around, and Davis was kind of standing inside there expecting that pass. It didn't come, and just didn't get out of there quick enough.
Well, she got it out, and I think she was expecting her sister to shoot it, and that didn't happen. So I'm sure there'll be a conversation about that.
There's that communication thing again, huh? Northcutt picks up the dribble. Back to Northcutt. Here she comes. She's going to just try to put that one up, and there's exactly what Coach talked about earlier. Micah Davis staying vertical, didn't leave her feet, gets the block, does not get the foul call. In a lot of cases, even if you don't foul in that situation, you would get that call, especially if you left your feet, and she didn't. Back to the inside. Ponca wants to turn around and get it up. They will. It's going to be missed, and here comes the rebound, and out of there is Whitney Smith. Quickly, Whitney straight to the hole, right hand up and in. She had an opportunity left side, Coach, but she decided to go with it.
Yeah, I think that, the defender that was actually on the ball kind of shaded her a little bit that way, and I think she took another dribble to see if it would open up, and when it didn't, they gave her the layup, and she took it. That was really good basketball, and smart of her not to force that ball in there.
Quickly, Union gets the turnover, and they'll have it right back. Jasmine, far side. Oh, she's going to take the long three as Gator, and it won't go. And a foul is going to be called on the rebound, and it will go to Ponca City. Lady Wildcats will take it out of bounds with 5:37 to go in this first half, trailing 20-4.
I know that as a coach, and also specifically with Coach Berry and this team, he is real big on getting paint touches before they shoot a shot like that. Now, that exact same shot that DeMoya took was not a bad shot, but basketball, the numbers say that when that ball goes inside first and then comes out for that very shot, it goes in more. And so I think that's what he's been stressing with them. And as the season goes, I think they'll pick up on it a little bit better.
Wonderful block on the inside. Duncan got open. It was blocked initially, but then put back by Ponca City. Now 20-6, and here come the Red Hawks quickly. And one of the things you end up with in this situation, Coach, is the ball gets down inside. Gator turns and scores, but the whistle is as Ponca City speeds up to try to make things happen, Union speeds up too, and you have to control your own pace so you don't get sloppy.
Absolutely, and I think that as the game goes along and Ponca City gets a little more desperate, they will start to play, as you said, a much faster pace. But we just got to stay at our normal pace that we're comfortable at, which is pretty fast, but still don't want to be sped up.
Whitney Smith misses that three, and again, she's had a couple of those. Normally she'll knock those down. So the ball back to Ponca City, and here comes Good across midcourt. Pardon me, that was DeMoya. That wasn't Whitney. No, it was Whitney that missed it. No, it was DeMoya, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Pardon me. Ponca picks up their own dropped ball, and Carlisle wants to go inside. Back out front to Northcutt. That ball is tipped, and it's taken away. Heron. She has Whitney to the right. Smith down court, underneath. Can't get it to go, but the rebound to Heron. Back to Whitney, left hand up, and it's good. That is never giving up on a play right there as the Red Hawks lead extends to 22-6. That's about as good as it gets right there.
Yeah, just, you didn't hang your head because you missed the first one, just kept playing. The ball found its way back to you, and you had another opportunity. There's just a few young kids out there, don't worry so much about missing one. Keep playing, and the opportunity will come right back to you.
You remember what Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That doesn't mean you want to take them all, but he's got a point.
Well, if you're Wayne Gretzky, you want to take them all. The rest of us should probably, evaluate those and listen to our coaches.
I've seen some guys like Derrick Rose and people like that when they were playing where, I'm fine with them doing it as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's levels to it, I think, is what we're saying.
There certainly are. 3:44 to go in this first half, 22-6 here on the Union Sports Network. Rick Horry, Coach Joe Redmond. We've got Andy Irwin and the Union Sports Network crew. Nick Irwin, who's normally with me, is doing parent-teacher conferences tonight, so he's doing his job. That's why Joe is sitting in here tonight. Joe is normally running around the arena putting out fires, right?
Yeah, that's normally what I do. I think that, this time of year, though, we, the staff is trained and ready to go and can handle most things. So they know I'm up here tonight, and I think they're going to do an unbelievable job of making sure that whatever might come up, they'll take care of.
Northcutt misses Highshaw with the rebound. She's another one I've been really enjoying watching play. India Highshaw, another one who really knows how to use what she has, Coach. She's very good at that.
Yeah, and she's come such a long way just in the last couple of years of being here. Transferred from a smaller school, and I think maybe one of those things where the pace wasn't something that she was quite used to, and she just stuck with it and just keeps playing and playing. And she is one of the team favorites. I think that if you ask any of those girls down there who their favorite player is, most of them will probably say 33. She's just a nice young lady and a great teammate, and it's been good for this team.
When you have Edwards, Richardson, and Highshaw out there right now, when you talked about depth, that depth is really important. Now, are they going to bring the exact same thing, say the Davis twins do, or that kind of thing, or even with Gator out there? They don't. But they do bring an individual skill set. I liken this back to football. Anytime you've got a running back who's a pounder, and then you bring in a scat back as a defensive player,
absolutely.
that's hard.
Yeah.
Now you're almost kind of doing the reverse. You've got two young, very, very, very tall young ladies who can play, and they've got great movement. And you bring in some girls who are just a little bit bigger and can use that space. They do create problems because of what you've been playing before them.
Absolutely, and I think that, one of the things that some of the growth that you're starting to see in the Davis twins and being able to play more physical and that kind of thing starts with these young ladies in practice, just going at those three young ladies you mentioned that are on the court right now, just going at them and working their tails off and making them better and getting better themselves. And so it's always good to see the opportunity arise for them to get extended minutes, and Coach Berry takes advantage of it.
Lomack out there right now, along with Daniels, Edwards, Richardson, and Highshaw. And you saw I love this too. Lomack was walking all the way over to the opponent's huddle and just kind of hanging out right over there. And I love to see that when a player does that. First of all, it irritates the other team. And she wasn't right in the huddle, but she's close enough that you know that what she's saying is let's go. Yeah. And that's I always think it's a great thing. It's a great mental ploy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I never liked it when other people did it to us either, so you're absolutely right about that.
Right. I get it. I understand that. We have at University of Tulsa, where I broadcast football, got a defensive back who will walk directly into the other huddle until they throw him out. Back on the other end, Union gets the ball inside. There is a jump ball. Remember that earlier one went to Ponca, or went to Union, so this one will go to Ponca. So out of bounds, Ponca City takes it with 2:43 to go in this first half, 22-6, Union with the lead. And certainly, it's gone pretty much like you would like. Little pressure from Union, and knocking that ball out of bounds was Daniels, 5'7" junior.
Yeah, this is, we play a full court man. I mean, obviously it looks like a full court press, but if all those other girls clear out, our girls will clear out with them, so it'll just be, one-on-one with a point guard. And so you always say, oh, what are they doing pressing like this? Well, we've always played a full court man, but Ponca City feels like they need all 5 players up there to get the ball across half court, so it ends up looking like we're pressing.
And there's another tie ball. Great job right there by Highshaw. This is Coach said right there, he's somebody who just does all the right things. She ties it up. It'll be Union's basketball, and they'll come the other direction. Quickly down court is Lomack.
I told you she's only got one gear.
You like those players.
Absolutely.
Daniels will back it up and slow it down a little. Edwards gets the ball inside, or tries to. That was picked off by Duncan, and the Lady Wildcats will come the other way with 2 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah, it's kind of like the quarterback that stares at that open receiver a little bit too long and then throws it later. I think she kind of telegraphed that one a little bit, trying to get the ball to her buddy Highshaw down there. And
you'll see a little coaching moment right there as they both switched the screen and ran around it.
Yes.
So two players went with Ponca City, and that's what you like when you have a 22-6 game. You still want coachable moments, and you find them in those kinds of things.
Absolutely, and it works better when they just present themselves and you don't have to make them up, because regardless, you're going to coach something, so it's good that you don't have to make anything up.
Northcutt on that layup was blocked, and another jump ball, and once again it's this time it's Edwards, who gets the jump ball, and the possession arrow now to Ponca. Inbounds quick, nice little inbounds, but they missed the gimme. Rebound comes out of there to Edwards, and here comes Union. Edwards, little pull-up, excellent job. Will it go? And it does. Yeah. That's a tremendous, just length of the court play by Yane Edwards, 24-6.
It was a great job on the box out and the rebound, and then had her head up, dribbling down the floor, looking for a teammate. But when nothing presented itself, she took it to a spot she was comfortable with and was able to knock it down. It's a great job.
Northcutt tried to put a little move in there against Union, and she traveled. So the ball will go back over to the Redhawks. 24-6, a minute 21 to go in this first half. Daniels will bring it up. Back to Lomack, back to the inside. Bit of an opportunity. She wants it. She'll drive. But turning it down was Highshaw. Back inside to Highshaw, and this time she's going to, whoop, no, she doesn't. She turns to drive, dishes it off, and it's missed by Edwards, but that's a good dish and a good offensive play. Just didn't go, Coach.
Yeah, I think that she wanted to turn the middle and play, and Yane just making a basketball move was cutting to the basket after the pass like she's taught, and Ashaw turned into her and just decided to give it up to her. Fast break.
Quick fast break, and down court quickly was who? Kamari Lomack, and there's 2 more for Union. And that's a tremendous pass, too, and good vision to get it down there.
Yeah, I just love how Coach Bailey, and they work on this all the time. When they break out of there off the dribble, they just have their head up, and it's one thing to be able to see the floor. It's another thing to be willing to give up the ball in those situations. So it's good to see that they're doing both. They got their head up, and they're willing to give it up the floor to their teammate.
25 seconds to go, and the Redhawks have another chance, and here once again comes Lomack. Redhawks will move it, a little bit of a drive. Once again, Daniels will pass it off. 12 seconds to go, still time. Moving on the inside as Edwards turns and scores. Yane Edwards, nice little move to the inside, and they up the lead.
Nice little baby hook off the block down there. She just waited her time, read the defense, and took what they gave them. It was a nice little move.
And that is the buzzer for the half. So at the half here, Union leads 28-6. 4 points in there for Edwards, 8 for Whitney Smith, 6 for Micah Davis, 4 for Damara Daniels, and Kamari Lomack with 2. Before I let you cut you loose for the half here, tell me what they did best. Tell me what you'd be talking about at the half.
Well, I think you just want to continue to talk about what has been working for you. Just playing solid defense, communicating, and then getting the ball out quick and looking for opportunities. I think that we've been able to take advantage of some average transition defense by Ponca City, but when things aren't there, we've also been able to slow it down, play in the half court, and move the ball and get some good looks against their zone. And I think that, as we go further into the season and then into the playoffs, that zone offense is going to be really key for us. I think that, with our size that we talked about earlier and teams wanting to zone us and try to take away the paint and force us to shoot the ball more from the outside, being willing to share the ball and be comfortable against that zone is going to be key for us.
All right, so it's 28-6 at the half. Union leads. We're going to step away for this half. We'll come back as the second half begins. And don't forget, we still have boys basketball to come as well. This is Union basketball on the Union Sports Network.
Does your school or organization need athletic apparel or spirit wear? Let me suggest Inkwell, a Tulsa-based company that can get you the quality you deserve at unheard of and unmatched lead times. Talking 2 weeks or less, not 2 months like most others, and can do it as much as 60% less than most of the big guys out there. So join the likes of Sand Springs, Union, Broken Arrow, Jinx, Oolaga, and Glenpool to name a few, and get your customized sublimated uniforms, including Under Armour, Nike, or Adidas at InkwellNation.com.
Life doesn't wait for you to slow down. When you're moving fast and something doesn't feel right, Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma is here to help you stay in motion. Through our combined expertise in orthopedic surgery, non-surgical medicine, and comprehensive whole patient treatment, our team has your back and every other joint too. Ready to get back out there? Visit AOOK.com and let's move forward together. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
When summer heats up and your AC isn't working right, be cautious of being pressured into a replacement.
It's always a good idea to get a second opinion, and Airco will let you know if your AC is worth fixing.
So call Airco today for a free second opinion.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion, obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
Shields is now open at the Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa, and we can't thank you enough for the warm welcome. Whether you love the great outdoors, sports, or fashion, Shields has something for everyone. Our passionate and knowledgeable Shields experts are excited to welcome you to explore thousands of brands and premium products. From our golf simulator, service shop, archery lanes, and more, we're ready to get you fitted with the best gear for you. We can't wait to see you at Shields.
Hey Union fans, score big with TTCU Federal Credit Union School Pride Card. Each time you use your card, we donate to Union Public Schools, adding to the $2.5 million we've given statewide. TTCU, where members are raving fans.
Select Commercial Group, a part of Coldwell Banker Select, is a highly reputable and professional firm specializing in commercial real estate services. David Roberts heads up the group with over 40 years of management experience and over 20 years in the real estate market. Sarah Bergeson, Scott Job, Jason Smith, Amy Bauman are skilled professionals that are poised to help you achieve your goals. Select Commercial Group treats their clients like family. With a wealth of experience and expertise in the industry, they are dedicated to providing exceptional services to clients seeking commercial real estate solutions. Whether you are looking to buy, sell, lease, or invest in commercial properties, their expertise covers various sectors, including office spaces, retail properties, industrial facilities, and more. Select Commercial Group is the go-to partner for all your commercial real estate needs. Call 918-695-6979 or 918-394-0700, a sponsor of the Union Red Hawks.
Welcome back inside the Union Multi-Purpose Activity Center, better known as the John Q. Hammonds Arena here on the campus of Union High School. Union High School basketball tonight as the Union girls lead 28-6 over Ponca City here at the half. I'm Rick Corey along with Coach Joe Redmond. Coming up after this game, of course, the boys' game. And, Coach, one of the things we need to approach here is kind of what you want to do in this second half for this girls' team. And it's going to apply to the boys' team, too, because quite honestly, when you look on paper, this Ponca City team on the boys' side is not great. Both these teams have big games coming Friday against Owasso. You need to stay polished here. You cannot be sloppy here, even if you're winning a game. So what do you say about playing basically? What do you tell them in the locker room about? And you're not looking forward, I get that, but you want to make sure that happens.
Well, you know, you can have a little bit of those things in mind as far as, you know, gearing what you do, what you can control towards, building into Friday, the type of defense you're going to need to employ, or, maybe some of the sets, or, that kind of thing. You can work on a few of those things out here in the second half. I think that, whatever mistakes that, you see tonight, you want them to be a couple things. You want them to be aggressive mistakes, and you don't want them to be redundant. If we make a mistake out here in the second half, you want to be able to coach it, correct it, and see it corrected tonight. You don't want it to linger, in other words. And I think that just if you've got a girl that going down the stretch, you want to see them, shoot the ball better or get a few balls in the basket a few more, then maybe you draw up a few things to get them going and get them some confidence and that kind of thing. And with Bella being out, you're going to need another primary ball handler out there besides Jazz, and so you give whoever it is you're thinking about in that role, you give them as many opportunities as you can to handle the ball and trigger the offense and that kind of thing.
In a perfect world, how long do you want to see starters out there playing that crisp basketball, that balance between keeping them sharp and keeping them rested?
Yeah, obviously the number one thing is to get out of here healthy with all of your girls, not just your starters, but you get them enough reps and get them to work on a few things, and then you get them out of the basketball game and let those other girls bring you home. Based on what Coach Berry has in his mind, I'm sure he's already talked about it with his staff and knows exactly how long he wants to play those girls. I never really got into worrying about, how late in the game they played. It was more about how many minutes they played throughout the course of the game. And so, and I don't know if Coach Berry looks at it that way or not, but I imagine that, whatever he has in mind as far as minutes for each girl, that's what he's going to try to get to.
Well, nowadays, everybody looks at metrics, don't they?
Absolutely. It's just such an easy place to gather information that is highly useful. In the old days of going off the field and that kind of thing. It plays a little bit of a role in it, but when you have undeniable numbers in front of you, it's smart to take advantage of them.
How often have you, as a coach, the metrics were there as you were still coaching. They obviously improve every year. Do you ever look at a set of metrics and be surprised by what you saw?
In the very beginning I was, and really for me it was more about which lineups were, your better defensive lineups or which lineups were the most efficient offensively and that kind of thing. I would be surprised because a lot of times it's not your starting group. And so those things would surprise me a little bit. But, and outside of that, I'd done it long enough that I had a pretty good idea what I was seeing.
I can imagine that'd be the case. Underway now here in this second half is Union, leading 28-6 with the basketball. Great movement out front. That's a nice little inside move and layup, and it goes up and in for Demoya Gator. And that's a motion offense run well, Coach.
That's right. And, Ponca City came out working on a few things, switched to their man out of that zone that they were in the whole first half. And, we were ready for it and knew what we were supposed to do first time we saw a man and ran the dribble weave and got the first look and got it to go down.
Inside, that does not go for Duncan. Good job by Union once again to stay vertical, but a foul on that rebound.
Yeah, Micah, shrugging her shoulders like she didn't know what she did, but she had her hand in the small of her back and then swiped up top, and it just doesn't look good. And she may be right. She may not have touched her as much as the official thought she did, but it looked like she did. And so when the score is the way it is, they're going to give the girl the free throws.
Carlisle at the free throw line, and she rattles that first one in, so it's 30-7 now, Union. Just underway here in the second half. Rick Corey along with Coach Joe Redmond. Second one goes in cleanly. It's now 30-8, and here come the Redhawks. Jasmine Herron, thank God for those shoes. You can always tell who Jasmine is. And right now, Demoya's got the same thing going with bright green.
Yeah, I don't know that there was a bright green option when I was playing high school basketball in the late 80s, but
I don't think there was an option other than black or white when I was there, as a matter of fact, myself. Inside move, and that's Jada Davis who was able to knock one down from a nice little feed, and it'll be an and one. As a matter of fact, in high school in football, our coach way back in the 70s let us wear white shoes, actually had us wear white shoes, and it was scandalous.
Oh, my goodness.
Nobody else wore white shoes. It was a thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Free throw up and good. And now that is 5 points for Jada Davis. 33-8 Union. Nice job of tipping that ball. And again, great active hands in there from Gator. Or Herron, pardon me. She's everywhere. Ponca will take it out once again. Carlisle got that ball inbounds, but it was bounced out of bounds by Northcutt. Carlisle's ball was tipped a little bit, and then Northcutt tried to grab it and then keep it in bounds. She touched the out-of-bounds line, and the Red Hawks will have it under the basket. Davis to get it in, and here we go again.
It's a nice little set to get a corner three, but Micah just didn't dribble it up away to the top of the key enough to get the defense to drag.
Little grab there by Ponca, who's gone right back into their zone, and there's the steal. Here come the Lady Wildcats. Good. Dribbles all the way in, puts it up, and she knocked it down. Give credit right there to Natalia Good. She did not hold up, and now the pass down court is there, just there, for Jada Davis. Great little feed down court. It was a little short, but it bounced up into the air, and Davis with the putback. Quickly down court once again, Ponca, and they're going to call a foul under there on Jada Davis as she was in the back of Allison Duncan. Yeah, interesting, too, as a coach, you've seen this, I'm sure. One half gets called one way by officials, and then suddenly fouls are being called. And I'm not saying they aren't fouls, not at all, but officials are people, too, and they can change. And when that happens at the half, it's got to drive you crazy.
Absolutely, and it's just, it's kind of one of those things of just trying to you remember to get her players back to your fundamentals. The problem with Jada right there, she couldn't see both of her hands, and so I can't tell her what she was doing with that backhand. I've got to believe what the official saw because she didn't have both of her hands up. So just a little small thing to work on.
Whitney Smith with that layup right now. She has 10 as the Red Hawk lead extends to 37-10. And they will call a foul and send it the other direction.
And she just dribbled it out of bounds right there, I think.
Sorry, I thought they'd called the foul instead.
It looked like she was pushing off, but as in the process of trying to push off, she dribbled it out of bounds.
Either way, it works out for the Red Hawks,
right.
And it's now Union's possession. Heron out front. Jasmine gets it inside. Nice little feed. Up with the left hand. Can't quite get it to go, could Micah Davis, but she did a nice job, Coach. Didn't bring the ball down, turn and put it up.
Yeah, and put it up with her left hand going that way. It's a nice little set play that they've been working on, and the timing of it was perfect and got the look they were looking for there. Just didn't go down.
Davis inbound to Whitney. Micah, left side. That one goes to Gator. Nice little move, left-hander by Demoya Gator, and she scores again. Red Hawk lead 39-10.
Yeah, it's just a one dribble layup from the outside the three-point line, just to let you know just how explosive she can be.
Well, there's one thing I'll say for her. She's decisive. When she wants to go, she goes. Inside the Northcutt, nice move.
Oh.
I think they're going to call a foul in front there on Micah, and I thought Micah had stayed fairly consistent. But
she did. She had both hands in the air, just like I said she should have, and the official at the point of the play did not have a foul, and then the guy on the backside called it, which I don't agree with, but we're shooting free throws regardless of what I think.
Northcutt knocks down another free throw. That's 3 points for Northcutt tonight. Second leading scorer. Duncan has 4. See if she can tie that. And she does. 2 very good free throws. Oh, and then as she turns around, she runs right into Jasmine Heron. And it looks like Jasmine may have gotten poked in the face or the eye. And it wasn't, certainly Northcutt didn't turn around to hurt someone.
No, she didn't. And I think that Jazz was more looking at what was happening with the inbound and didn't see her either. Just a perfect storm there.
Northcutt is bleeding as she comes to the bench here at Ponca's side. So I think those two might have. At first I thought it was a poke in the eye. Now I think it was just 2 heads that collided, Coach.
It looks like a headbutt. I think it's Jasmine's eye and Northcutt's nose.
And they're working right just a little bit above on both of them. Northcutt on the bench. Jasmine is up now.
Oh, yeah.
And, boy, when she took the shot, Jasmine went down quickly. Still kind of blinking that left eye, as you can imagine. And, again, there was nothing from either player that would indicate any kind of foul thing. It was just a happenstance, but both of them went down. 39-12 Union with 4:51 to go here in this third period. The officials are going to check and make sure they check in players and make sure everyone's all right. And we'll get this thing back underway.
Yeah, hopefully a butterfly Band-Aid will take care of.
Saw one of those already being deployed over there on the Ponca side. Lomack will come in for Union. Out front, Smith. Good job with that left hand. She'll dish it off, and the three comes from Micah Davis, and no problem. 42-12 now, Union. That's 9 for Micah.
Yeah, and that's one of those paint touches before 3 that we talked about a little bit in the first half that, Coach Berry does not mind a 3 when that ball goes inside first. We've got several girls that can make them. We just wanted to take the right ones.
Steal to Jada, to Micah, left hand, up and in. The Davis twins run the break, and it looks spectacular, and it's 44-12. Can't coach that. It's just there. You're really good at it. It means you're athletic and smart.
Yeah, and just you playing together for so long and understanding each other. It's just I think that, you knew what was going to happen before it happened.
You think that might have happened in the backyard a time or two?
I think so.
Ponca City does get the ball down inside. Nice job right there by Carlisle. Actually, I think that was Duncan. She did a nice job she put the ball up. It was no good. Put it up again, and now she kind of lollygagging the other direction. Look who's there.
Yeah,
Whitney Smith.
Whitney is, that ball is like a magnet to her. She knows where to get an easy basket, and in situations like that, she's going to take advantage of it every time.
That is 12 for Whitney right now as the ball is dribbled toward the sideline, and a whistle by the officials, and we'll start this thing over again. 3:28 to go here in this third period. It's 46-14. And I will say, if you wanted this group to come out and play pretty clean, Coach, I think they have.
Yeah, it's it's that time of year where, the mental aspect of the game, it really starts to take over, and to have a mature team like this to come out in a game like this and play as well as they have for as long as they have tonight it's refreshing to see.
Good job by Demoya Gator on the rebound. It was an excellent job, though, by Lomack to push that ball down court. Union kind of blew a little bit of a bunny, got a couple of rebounds right there, but couldn't get it to go in, and Ponca throws it away, and it will go right back to the Redhawks. Golden opportunity on the other end, but that's another coachable moment.
Yeah, and you're starting to see a little bit of the depth of both teams show up here. I think that Ponca City, whose girls have been fighting hard for the first 2.5 quarters of this game, and just not being as deep, and those girls are starting to wear down a little bit. You saw that in that last pass.
Whitney with the missed 3, and it will bounce back out to Lomack. She's a fast mover with the basketball, going back to Whitney, and they'll take their time with 2:40 to go in this third period. No rush. Lomack had the inside if she wanted to take that left side. Now she does, but cut off. Whips it back outside to Jada. Whitney has it again. Will she take the shot? Nope, that ball's knocked away. Good defense there by Ponca, and nearly saved. That's an excellent job in there by Carlisle. She was in amongst the trees and had 2 Redhawks around there, and her fast hands actually saved that for a moment.
Yeah, that's the thing about, like I said, Ponca City. I mean, it's just refreshing to see, just from a coaching standpoint, that they're still out here being coachable, playing hard, and not giving up on each other.
Lomack missed, but the rebound by Gator. Now here comes Davis. She'll kick off. Whitney's got a 3. No, she can't get it to go. Whitney can't buy a 3 tonight, but trust me, those will fall. McLean with the rebound.
And that was a good shot. You had the penetration to suck the defense in, and it came out to her. Feet were set, and it looked online from here, just back rim.
Throwaway right there by Ponca, and here comes Whitney Smith. She'll take it the length. Right hand up and in. Good job by Whitney, and she extends her point total now to 12 as the Red Hawk lead goes to 48-14. Pardon me, 14 for Whitney. Every night, somebody different, it seems, Coach, but they're all doing their work.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about this team. That's what makes them so tough is, there's just multiple girls that can score in multiple ways, and it's just whatever the defense wants to take away, we accept it and let the other girls do the job.
Nice little move by Duncan as she got 2 in there for Ponca City. Now Union with a minute to go in this third period playing a little catch. Lomack. Davis will take the 3 and got it. Rattled it in. Jada Davis knocks down the 3. That's 10 for her tonight, and the lead goes to 51-16.
It's good ball movement. It, touched a couple of sidelines. In other words, it came this side, went to the other side, and came back. And, again, another young lady that can shoot the ball, had her feet set, and was ready to shoot it when she caught it.
Yeah, that's the thing I've seen. If I see growth between all these girls, and I know they're already good to begin with, I watched the Davis twins. I think body positioning on shots has gotten better, in my opinion, since last year.
Yeah, and, there's 2 things to that. Obviously, they've worked on it, and, have just gotten better at it with the reps. But it's also a confidence thing, they're starting to believe that they're as talented as what they're hearing that they are, and you can see it in their play now.
Maria Daniels and Yane will check in for the Davis twins as we get this third period nearly out of the way. And this is the time we were talking, Coach, about you sometimes worried, will the other team start to play sloppy? I will say that Ponca hasn't done that, so it's really actually been helpful to Union as the out front shot will not go for Lomack. Rebound underneath by Union. Whitney Smith will have a chance, can't get it to go. Lomack with another rebound, but that's the shot clock for the end of the third period. Good offensive possession, just couldn't quite get the shot to go.
Yeah, and like I said, good ball movement. It got reversed a couple of times. We had good dribble penetration. You got the ball across the baseline, got the baseline drift pass out, another extra pass. It just, you got no problems when those don't go in. That's just good offense, and made the defense work.
And we've seen Whitney Smith struggle from outside today, but you know what? That normally means next time out you shoot pretty well, and so I'll take that if that's Owasso.
Yeah, and I tell you what, she's such a natural scorer and shooter. She's not one that I worry about. She will, if Owasso's crazy enough to give her some open opportunities on Friday, she's going to knock them down.
So at the third period, we are at 51-16. So this final quarter, we're going to start with Lomack. It's going to be Daniels, Edwards. I believe we're looking at Highshaw. And let's see, that final.
Edwards, Highshaw, Lomack.
There we go. It is Demoya. Demoya's still out there, right?
Yeah.
So that's the five that will start here, and might not see the Davis twins again tonight, huh, Coach?
I don't think that we will. Now, if you do, then it's
something might have gone wrong.
Yeah, Coach Berry may have, gotten upset with someone or.
Ponca will inbound to start this final period, trailing 51-16. Good, way out front. That's a nice try to get to the inside, but an excellent job by Daniel. She was beaten by a half step, but that's cornerback closing speed, Coach, to knock it away.
Absolutely. She, I thought for sure it was going to be a layup, but her athleticism and just effort got her and tipped that ball out of bounds.
Good, will inbounds. That goes to Duncan, who has been one of their best players tonight. Now a clear three, turn, take that three, and it's not going to go. Good, missed that one, and here come the Redhawks. Gator, pull up, knocked it down. Boy, that's as good as it gets on the pull up. Gator extends her amount of points tonight, now to 8. Redhawk lead 53-16.
Coach Berry pulling the girls back to half court there. Demoya just so used to picking up the ball when that ball goes in like that. And Coach called her off, which is good to see.
Ball back out front now as Duncan will try to start over again. Inside to Good. Good tried to go inside to Carlisle, but it's knocked away. Okonowicz will check in here for Ponca City. Have not yet had a player leave. Now here we come. It will be Avia who will have a seat, and Ponca will play with this group. You notice we have a running clock here in this fourth period, which makes good sense.
Yes.
Good. Deep inside. Turns. Cannot get that thing to go, and here comes Lomack, and look out, because she'll outrun you with the basketball. She's about to, puts up a wild left-hander. Did not go, but a wonderful rebound inside by Highshaw. Back to Lomack, and she's trapped, and Lomack knocked out of bounds. They're going to call a foul. Lomack found herself in the corner with 3 people around her and not many places to go, and she finally got bumped out of bounds, and that's really kind of a bailout by Ponca. If they stand still, that's going to stick in the corner.
Yeah, I think that the Ponca City defender thought that she had her pinned on that baseline and didn't realize she left her just enough room for an athletic player like that to get around her. It surprised her, and so she hip-checked her.
Highshaw had a really nice opportunity inside, could not get it to go. And now a steal. Here comes Edwards, full court. Yane, layup, good. Yane Edwards showing a little burst of speed right there with the basketball, and the lead goes to 55-16.
Yeah, she's been dealing with a knee issue all year long, and so it's just good to see her out there with a little bit of bounce in her step because, I've seen her in practice and just see how frustrated she gets on the days when, the knee's just not acting right. So it's just good to see she's feeling good enough to do that tonight.
Edwards almost had a chance at a nice little breakaway right there. The pass was a little bit underthrown. Down underneath for, Ponca City, you got to give a lot of credit right there to Duncan. Duncan got deep underneath, had a ball blocked, grabbed her own rebound, and put it back up and in for a 55-18 score. And again, this Ponca City team is really playing hard.
Yeah, they are, and I noticed that when you watch them on video and that kind of thing. And sometimes, unfortunately, this year they've ended up on the wrong side of the score a handful of times. But they're always coachable, and they keep trying until the end of the game. And it's just good to see that, and it'll pay off for them in the years to come, I think.
Highshaw had an opportunity inside, backed her way out of there, though. By the way, Richardson did check in as well. Lomack way out front. She'll go back to Daniels. Here's a really good opportunity from three. Cannot quite go in there for Edwards. Rebound to Highshaw. Edwards again for three, and again it won't go. They're going to call an over the back in that case on Richardson, and it will go to the Lady Wildcats. Had a couple of good shots, Coach.
Yeah, we did. I think that, I don't know that we're doing anything positive for our overall three-point shooting percentage tonight, but 55-18 with 4 minutes to go, I don't know that it matters that much.
Well, I know, no matter what, as a coach, when you look at that, you're like, oh, I wish we'd have shot better, but we won by. But I wish we'd have shot better, but we won by. It's a tough place to be.
Yeah, it is, but again, it's one of those deals where when you come out to a game like this, there's certain things that. You want to accomplish and get through. And if the ball goes in extra, that's great. But like you said earlier, maybe we're saving them all for Friday.
Richardson had an opportunity to break away and was called out of bounds right there. Coach Barry wasn't real happy with that. He had a kind word with the officials and laughed about it a little bit and clapped his hands. That's an over and back on Ponca right there. And as soon as it happened, the young lady who did it, Reagan Fries, understood she did it and just held her hands up and dropped the ball.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those frustrating things. I think, you realize you do something like that, and young ladies just get so embarrassed in those situations that, you do something that.
And it happens to anybody out there. Nice little offensive weave right here for Union, but picking up the dribble was Richardson.
Yeah, one more dribble. I think she'd have realized she had an open layup there. So.
Down inside, Highshaw's got room. She got pushed out of there, though. Nice defensive play. Once again with the ball, Richardson. She'll go to Lomack. Lomack, move up. Cannot get it to fall. Rebound in there by Ponca. It's a good move by Lomack, and it's unusual for her to go a little hard off the glass, but it bounced out.
Yeah, she was a little surprised she got that. I think that everybody at the crowd is excited. They want Highshaw to get a basket, and she keeps passing it out.
Rebound underneath by Ponca City, and that's a really good rebound by the same young lady that got caught on the over and back. That is Reagan Fries, and she's fouled and will go to the line. 55-18, 2.5 to go as the clock continues to tick here. And Reagan Fries at the line. Shot number one goes in. They have done a very good job of shooting free throws tonight, have the Lady Wildcats.
Yeah, we have not guarded the free throw line very well tonight. It seems like that's their spot tonight. We can't seem to stop them there.
And you know what? If you're going to let them score somewhere, let them score there, right?
There you go.
Well, unless you do too much. All right, so the second shot is off, and here comes Lomack with the basketball. Lomack, nice little move. Left-hander is up and in. Thought she might get the and one call, but did not. Still, tremendous move in there by Kamari Lomack.
There needs to be no and one calls on that end of the floor at this point in the game.
I think that's exactly what they were thinking.
Yeah.
However, if you're her, you'd like to have
your absolutely. And it would have been the right call, however.
Ball on the floor, and here comes Union. They'll come out of there with it. Pass cross court, Lomack, that time with the right hand, can't get it to go, and it's going to bounce out of bounds. I think that went out on Union. It did. And with 1:24 to go, the Lady Wildcats will have another opportunity. So you mentioned it a couple of times, and you got to give credit, I think, to Coach Estrada and her coaching staff at Ponca for the way this team continues to battle. And it can't be easy all the time when you've had issues. By the way, there's a steal by Daniels, and she will easily take it the distance. When you've had issues winning games, they have won 2 of their last 3, but they still have had a rough season, but this team responds, and that's, I think, a good credit to her.
Absolutely, and as a coach, we've all had teams that weren't as good as we wanted them to be, and we've had games where, it's been tough, and so to watch a coach who can handle this type of situation and deal with it and continue to coach, and her team respond to the coaching that they're getting, it's just credit to her, and I think that it'll just prove profitable for them as they move along, because these girls will get better.
Well, and the good thing to see is, some of the young ladies' teams that we have seen, and there's another steal coming in by Union. Good job right there by Yane Edwards. She knew how much time was on the clock, Coach. She could have taken that to the hole. That's smart basketball.
Yeah.
She drew it back out.
Yeah. Well, and it's, Coach Barry, making sure that we treat our guests tonight with as much respect as possible. So
Late foul right there by Ponca, and they did not want to call that, but you really couldn't help it because Martin just whacked her.
Yeah.
But that's still going to count down, and that's going to end this basketball game. So Union will win 59-19. 8 points for Gator, 4 for Lomax, 6 for Daniels, 14 for Whitney Smith, 10 for Jada Davis. Yane Edwards was 6. Your final thoughts on this game?
Yeah, hopefully Jazz is okay, and we get out of here without any injuries. Obviously won the game, got the maximum 15 points you can get in district play, which will probably come into play as tight as the race is at the top. I just can't say enough about what I've seen out of our girls, not just tonight, but the last couple of weeks. Terrible injury to our senior Bella McSwain, and don't know if she'll be able to get back before the year's out or not. But I will tell you that I walked into practice Sunday, and with a cast on her arm, Bella was in full practice gear with her tennis shoes laced up, a basketball in her hand, and working on left-hand finishes and left-hand ball handling, and out coaching the girls and being positive with them and that kind of thing. And so her competitiveness and her spirit doesn't change with the cast on her hand. And so I think that, we have had a couple of games, Friday with Sand Springs and tonight, to kind of get used to the fact that she's not there. And, we've got a big one on Friday to show what we can do. I think, it'll and not just with or without Bella, it's going to be a huge game, but what we saw tonight was the positive steps towards being able to play well on Friday.
And we sure hope that same thing happens in the boys' game. We're going to step aside for a few minutes. When we come back, it'll be Union's boys against Ponca City as well here on the Union Sports Network.